I got a new project that I'm starting on, and what I've got is I'm going to be adapting this steady rest here, which actually belongs to the Victor lathe. I'm going to adapt it to fit the Monarch lathe. I've had people in the past comment on some of my videos about, hey, why aren't you using a steady rest? Well, one of the answers to that is because I don't have a big steady rest for this lathe. Actually, this steady rest that's right here is the only one that I have for this lathe, and this one didn't even go with this. This has been modified to fit on here, and this was not modified by none of us at our shop. This came with the machine like that, so that was done a very long time ago. It is a nice steady rest though, so I don't have enough capacity for anything larger than like 4 inches. I think that's what this one will hold, is about 4.5 inches. And this steady rest here for the Victor will go up to about 8 or 8.5 inch in diameter, which will give me the capacity range that I need for the Monarch. And one of the reasons why I want to go ahead and modify it to fit this is because, one, I already have it, and two, it's extremely hard to find an original steady rest to fit this lathe. I've searched eBay several times looking for one, and it's very hard to find one for this machine. There's a bunch of them out there you can buy, but chances are you've got to do the exact same thing. You're going to have to modify it to fit the lathe. So instead of spending a bunch of money on a steady rest, I'm just going to use this one and make it so that I can use it on the Monarch. So I'll bring you in close, give you a little more in-depth shot of what we're having to do. So basically what we're having to do is raise it up. We have to make a block to go on the ways here to raise it up about 1.25 inches. And then we'll have to do the machine work so that it fits the V, and then machine another V in there so that it'll fit this steady rest here. So that's what we're going to do. Let me set the camera right here. I'll show you a little bit more detail, okay? I guess we'll just start with this one here that was already modified, and you can see that it's got 2 riser plates underneath it, but it works good. It needs a new bottom clamp. They used a pretty wimpy little clamp on the bottom there, and something I never did get around to, but I do need to fix that. But it does work. So I've got the this bigger one from the Victor just kind of sitting on the tailstock quill here, and I've got it pretty well centered. It's this is extended all the way out, and it's maybe anywhere from a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch low. So I've got this block that's sitting underneath it there. That's an 1.25 inch block, so that's telling me that I'm real close. Once I put an 1.25 inch block under here, it should raise it just barely, and I think that that's going to put me within 1/8 of an inch higher low on that. And then we'll try to make sure we get it nice and centered on there too. And even if we're within 1/8 of an inch, that's still going to be plenty close for using on this. So what we got to do, as I said, make a block there. So what I have done, I had a piece of 1.5 by 3.5 flat bar, and I went ahead and took it, cut it, and I milled this at work using the Acra mill. And the reason I did that is because I could get it done a lot quicker and easier there on that mill than using a little Dual and using a smaller end mill. So I just did that at work. Didn't take long. Just milled a 1/4 inch off of it. So this is going to be our spacer block that will go down here. Okay, it's 10 inches long. So we're going to have to mill a V in it so that it'll sit on that side there. And then we'll have to mill another slot here so that we can make a key to line up on this steady rest here. And then of course drill a hole in it for our clamp, hold it all together. Okay, so that it did a good job. I used an insert facing mill to do that. It did a pretty good job. Just trying to keep from scratching it up too much before I get to use it. Alright, so let me try to get this where you can see it here. You can see I've got a kind of a sample to work off of. So I'm going to use this one here to get some measurements, and we'll try to mill our V-knots to match this one here. And then we'll, once I get it really close, I'll bring it over here and fit it, see if it's sitting nice and flat on the bed. So that's going to be the project, and this was kind of started because of another project that I want to do that's probably going to need, I'm going to need to use a larger steady rest than what I got for the lathe. So I decided to go ahead and get this done first. That way I'll have the steady rest ready, and then we can jump on the other big shop project that I want to do. Alright, so here's our sample, the small steady rest. I'm going to try to mill it as close to this as I can. Now the one modification I got to do is the slot is going to be wider than this one. This one's a 1/2 inch, and the only milling cutter that I can conveniently use is this one here. This will mill the slot perfectly. You know, I can just run it right down the center and mill it to the depth, but I'm going to have to use a wider slot in the bottom here to clear it. I think I'm going to have to go with 3/4. Yeah, we'll just go 3/4. That's 5/8 on the bottom, on this face here. It's 5/8 wide, so we'll just give ourselves an 1/8 clearance. So we're going to mill a 3/4 wide slot here. That'll still give us plenty of contact surface in here. And I went ahead and did my checking just to make sure it is a 90-degree V. I even used this little guy here and come in here and checked 45 degrees on one side, so it's a 90-degree included angle. Check my depth here. They milled it 1/2 inch deep, so we'll just make that slot 1/2 inch deep. And then to get it as close to this one it is here, because it actually fits really nice. They did a good job fitting it. I got a piece of 1 inch stock right here, and I'm going to lay that up in there like that. And you see this tack weld right here, but I can actually get to the center line of the slot here. So I'm going to lay that in there like that. I'm just going to use my digital calipers, and I'm going to just get a quick measurement. And I measured already. It's 1 inch 885. 1 inch 885. So whenever I'm doing my milling, I'll put this round pin in there and check it and try to get it as close to that depth as I can. So let's go to the mill and mill this slot out. Okay, on the mill, real quick, I'll show you my vise set up. Got it turned in line with it. Got it clamped on that side, and I've got 2 clamps on this side, hold it down. Alright, and I've got it flushed on this end. So one thing I forgot to tell you is that that slot's gonna be 1 inch from the edge, okay? I've got the ends milled, so we're gonna find center. And I wanna go ahead and point out something pretty neat. You guys might recognize this little guy right here. Gil made that for me and gave it to me about a month ago, and I kind of forgot about it till I pulled it out. And so I believe he got this idea from Mr. Pete. Mr. Pete showed building one of these, just a little collet stepper deal where this is all different standard sizes. So whatever size collet you got in there, you can keep that edge finder in there and go to town with it. So we're going to use it for the first time. Actually, I got a 1/2 inch collet in there. But Gil had made one for himself, and he made one for me too. So thanks, Gil. All right. Alright, so we want 1 inch, 100 thousandths. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 plus 100 thousandths. I ended up finding an 11/16 end mill. That's a roughing end mill, and I checked it, and that will provide enough clearance for my angle cutter that I'm going to use. So we're going to use an 11/16 instead of the go to a full 3/4. And for some reason, for whatever reason, if I need to, I can open it back up. Okay, so let's touch off and start a cut. I'm going to go half. I don't want to take the full half in one cut. I want to just take it in two. I'm not really sure. I haven't done a lot of heavy milling on this mill, so we'll just take it in two cuts. One, two, 50. All right, we're gonna have some cool mist going. Good sharp end mill. I don't think it's been used before, so it's taking it nice. Okay, there's our slot. So let me switch out cutters and we'll do some angle milling. All right, got the cutter in there tight. So measuring the other one with a scale, the width across the widest part of the groove there is going to be about 1 1/8 inches. So I'm going to take some light cuts there and kind of eyeball it with my scale to get her close, and then once we get it real close, then I'll start measuring it with the lay the bar in there and mic it. Yeah, let's see. That might be a little fast. Let me see how it does. Let's try that for the first cut. Alright, not too bad. Alright, so I still got another 3/16 on the width there. Alright, I'm going to make another cut the other way. Alright, so that's looking like 1 inch there. So that was a 50 thousandths cut. So it widened it out about a 1/16. So we'll go ahead and I'll take another 50 thousandths and make another cut. Alright, I had taken another 50 thousandths and it actually put me really close. Closer than I wanted to be. You know, measuring it with a scale. We're a little, just a shade under 1.125. So we'll do our little gauge measurement here with that shaft. Trying to get the mic squared up. 75, 85, 90, 93 thousandths, 893. So that's saying we need 8 thousandths, which isn't much. So I'm going to make just a very light pass across there. You know, I'm just going to take, I'm going to take 2 thousandths and let it go back across, and we'll mic it again. See how much that really took. All right, that was our 2 thousandths cut. Now I'm going to have to try to reach in behind here because I got the cutter over here. $891. Let me double check that because I don't know if I was square. $891. So it didn't take much. All right, I'm going to go 3 this time. 1, 2, 3. All right, that was our 3/1000 depth of pass. All right, so we're at 1 inch, 888. So I still need 3/1000. All right, I'm just going to take another 2/1000 pass across here, and I'm probably going to call that done. I do want to come in here and just kind of lightly polish that surface. Alright guys, this should put us close enough to what we need. Yep, chip. I'll get squared up. Okay. 86. So I think that's going to be close enough. I'm ready to do a test fit and see if it's even going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out, do a little bit of deburring. I want to rub that with some Scotch-Brite, and we'll fit it on the lathe. All right, here it sits. This is what it looks like finished up. Depth of the slot worked out perfect, just a little bit deeper than hitting the top here. And visually, when I look down it, it's hard to even tell if there's even a gap underneath here, but I went ahead and checked it just a second ago, and my feeler gauge here, this is the 4/1000, and I can get the 4/1000 underneath here, right there, but the 5 I can't yet. So I know that I've got at least a 4/1000 gap right there. So on this end, I could have went another thousandths or 2 probably, and gotten that where it sits flat, but that's pretty dang close. And honestly, it's close enough, and I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm going to run with it. I'm not going to set it back up and cut this again. So I mean, it fits nice. It's fitting good on there. I can see the contact down each side there. Alright, so let me reposition, and we'll get the steady rest and set it on here and see how it looks behind the tailstock. Alright guys, there she sits. I've got her kind of positioned in the center here, just using my scale, and you know, this is a rough casting here, but approximately 3 1/4 on each side. And as far as top and bottom goes, I think that I'm within that tolerance that I said that I was going to be in, within 1/8 of an inch. So that says 3 1/4 there. That says 3 1/2. So you know, about an 1/8 inch off center line right there. But I think that'll work, man. That looks pretty good. So next step is going to be, we'll set the block back up, and we're going to mill another V right here, and make a little key. Probably use a little piece of key stock, you know, and it'll be flipped 45 degrees to register the steady rest onto this block right here. And then of course we've got to drill a hole through there, and we've also got to make a bottom clamp that'll tighten it all up. So that was the first phase, and I'm happy with it. It's looking good, and we're well on our way to having a larger steady rest on the Monarch.